Okay, then maybe let's just start. Okay, I mean we have passed about 4 minutes already. So welcome to today's webinar. As you know, as more people come in, itself, I will tell you those who are new here. But of course, I see a lot of friendly faces, common faces here. But let me tell you a little bit more. So we are having a daily webinar where Jin will walk through you of all his thoughts, of his trades, ideas for a very specific currency every day. So for just a recap for anyone, Monday we'll be doing Aussie and New Zealand. Tuesday, which is today, we'll be doing Euro. Wednesday we'll be doing Pound. Thursday we'll talk about the Yen pair itself and gold. Friday we'll be talking about CAD and oil prices, usually mostly the WTI, but as you know today, there's lots of news on the oil prices itself. So I'm going to just again start off by launching a poll. Okay, just for the new ones and everyone, just for our reference, we want to know how do you get to know this webinar itself? Just help us about a bit. So I'm launching the poll right now. Okay, so there are 23. I hope to see 20 people doing the poll. Okay, so I can see right now most of you are from Traders Club and Telegram itself. So feel free to, because it's a free every day. So feel free to share to any of your friends. Okay, to anyone who's interested in knowing what's happening in the market itself, especially understand what is Jin's thinking. You know, so do free to share with your friends itself for this the link there, and we'll let people in as well. Okay. So today, Jin will be talking about, because it's Tuesday, we'll talk about Euro itself. So this webinar is going to be very beneficial, usually for all, not only just the short-term traders, but also the long-term traders itself. He will actually go through what he thinks moves the prices, what possible trade ideas like buy and sell for all the Euro pairs right now, and also what the potential risks we will be talking about. So just a disclaimer, we always start, any information shared during this session is not intended for trade recommendation. You know what I mean? So he will give you advice itself. So it's solely the opinion and views of Jin. So remember to always do your own analysis before entering any trade at all itself. So for those who are new here, let me give you an introduction. I'm Daniel Cheong. I've known Jin for many years already. I'm his student, and now I'm a partner with him in Forex BKS and LCMS Traders as well. I'm also one of the coach in LCMS Traders, so if you've got any questions, feel free to ask anything as well. Okay, so Jin runs LCMS Traders, Jin runs Forex BKS as a trading coach, as a $1 million trader itself. So whatever he trades, he also invited by a lot of places for events to speak. So if you do see him in presentation, give a wave to him, you know, or if you take a course, always feel free to ask him questions. Okay, so before I get Jin to get started itself. Okay, so let's give a clap to Jin now. Okay, Jin, all yours.
Okay, hey guys, how are you all doing? Give me a quick thumbs up if you can. Quick thumbs up. Okay. So not many of you are with video on. This is being recorded. I'm trying to get it onto Facebook Live, but I see a spinning circle round and round and round all the time. So I don't know what's happening there. So, well, you know, you get it, you get the benefit. Not everyone on Facebook gets the benefit. So thank you all for coming again. Today, as Daniel said, is Tuesday, so we will be talking about the Euro currency pair and also things related to the Euro. In addition to that, I think today is a special day. It's a historic day. I'm so happy to share it all with you all today. Historic because it is the lowest point of oil futures that we have seen historically, right? So I normally talk about oil on Friday, but I will talk about it a bit today as well, just to give you a bit of a recap of what's happening and what's likely to happen further. Okay, So shall we get started? Yes, no response, so I'll take that as a yes. Euro. Let me just get that going. Euro currency pair. Give me a thumbs up if you can see my Euro chart. Good. So today we look at Euro as usual. What I do is I'll look at the currency pair on the daily time frame first, because I want to cater this to the longer term investors. In our midst, we have property investors, we have business owners, we have longer term, even stock investors as well. So giving you a longer term view of where different currency pairs could go, really to give you, help you with your planning in terms of your cash flow and your investments that way. So on the daily chart, I think I will zoom it in a little bit. Hang on, let me bring this away. All right. In the daily chart, if I can zoom it in, it's finally reacting off the 1.09 level. Past few times we've been talking, so earlier in the month, we talked about it coming down, looked at it bouncing off or possibly coming down. It was really at a decision point at 109, that level. Looking at it now, it's trying to come down. So I would say that the most likely direction from this point on will be for the euro to head lower. All right. So for it to head lower, again, we will look at the triggers of what are the triggers that could push the euro lower. I'll look into Forex Factory later, but we remember that we also want to consider it in terms of what could happen in the US dollar as well. Before we start looking at the bigger triggers, let's look at the smaller time frames again. On the smaller time frame, I think it's on the H4 for the traders. I would advise normally to look at either the H4 or the H1 time frame. Looking H4, H1, you would normally hold that between maybe a week to 2 weeks, or even a couple of days to a maximum of 2 weeks. So at this point, I would say, hey, if it breaks below 1.0817, right, I'll be looking at maybe 120 pips stop loss with 130, 140 pip take profit. So almost a bit more than a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. I'll be quite happy with that trade, given that I expect the euro to continue moving lower. Okay, so possibly I'll just highlight there for you a little bit. That could be a trade. Those orange lines would be an example of a entry downwards, a stop loss up here, and a take profit down towards this level. So stop loss above the resistance level at about 130, take profit at about 110, 120. So we're looking at a almost 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. That would be something I'll be quite happy with. All right, if you are, I see the chat pinging away. So just a reminder, if you've got any questions, put it in the chat. I will look at it as much as I can. If not, then when I do look at it, I'll answer your questions. Okay. Take away those lines. Let's see any questions in the chat. I'll find my chat. Okay. So while I'm trying to get that up, I'll bring up the Forex Factory. As you can see, my Facebook Live is not working. So let's get rid of that for now. All right. So Forex Factory shows us the news. It shows us what news are likely to happen during this period, what could move the market higher or lower. So today, in terms of the Euro news, not much economic Euro news. We have a pound news later in the afternoon. We have German economic sentiment. That's going to move the market a little bit, but not probably not significant, right? Later in the week, again, not much Euro news. On Thursday, though, we will see quite a lot of Euro news. We will see the French PMI. We will see the German PMI, manufacturing PMI. We will see even the pound PMI, we see the overall Eurozone manufacturing and services PMI as well. So because of that, what I would expect is that we could see the euro, let me just jump back to the chart again. We could see that the euro could move lower slowly. All right, it could move lower slowly while it gets towards the point of Thursday before a possible big drop downwards. So we expect that it could, if I be a bit more specific, anticipate that it could move a bit slowly downwards before Thursday moving quite strongly lower that way. Okay, so why I see that is, although there are not much, because there's not much triggers today, we could see it moving slightly down, continuing down, following the trend downwards. As the triggers come in on Thursday, we could see that pushing euro lower. Why I also anticipate that the news could drive euro lower, also because looking at the news, it's all about manufacturing, it's all about services. PMI numbers are about business performance, right? So as a purchasing managers index. So it's about business performance, it's about employment, it's about performance. And the way the euro has been in shutdown, the eurozone has been in shutdown, anticipate that these PMI numbers are likely to be a bit more negative, a bit more contractionary. So anticipating slightly not so good news coming from the eurozone. Any questions so far at this point? I can't seem to bring up my chat window somehow. But any questions? If you guys can see the questions, can you just ping me your questions? Okay, wait. Well, Ivy says that I'm studying. Okay, no. Talking. Okay, no questions so far. Good. So that's the euro. Quite straightforward. I think that we have seen what could happen in the euro. Let me just jump back to the chart again. I'm jumping between the charts and the Forex Factory quite a bit. You're looking at euro pound, okay? Euro pound, last week I told you guys that euro pound is not going to do much until, but it's something that we want to pay a lot of attention to. Why I say that is because euro pound has been sitting there quite, oh wait, Casey Chong said euro today forecast. I just put it in there. I just put the lines in there, Casey. All right. So euro, I'll come back to that if you need more help on that. But let me talk about euro pound at this point. Euro pound has been sitting at 0.8725 for a very long time now. My previous videos, we've been saying that, if you're trying to force the trade out at this point, it's not going to do much. Now, I do think that euro pound could have an upward move. Euro pound could have an upward move. I don't know whether it's going to go all the way to the next resistance level, but I do believe that it could have an upward move. Possibly, even if we said that we did a bit of a 100 pip stop loss with a 200 pip take profit, that could be a move we're looking for. Do I think it's going to move now, today? Possibly not. I think it's going to still sit in that range for a little bit. I do think that it will start moving possibly tomorrow or the day after. It'll start moving then. Doesn't mean it will move all the way at that point. Why I think that it's possibly going to move up is the euro, although it's trying to come down, we could see the pound coming down as well, right? We could see the pound coming down as well. And as we see pound coming down, where is the euro pound possibly going to head? Upwards, right? So as we see the pound possibly coming down, we could see the euro pound possibly heading upwards. So if I were to be a bit more of a risk taker, bouncing off a support level, a resumption of that upward move, we could see that taking a 100 pip stop loss with a 200 pips take profit, that could be a move that I'll be quite interested in, but I would want to see it move a good upwards beyond the 0.8775 level, right? So only if it goes past that point, closes above that point, I could see a possible trade upwards. Make sense to you? I think that's quite an important one to be watching out for. Will not play out straight away today, but it might be something that could eventually play out. All right, jumping back into that. So yep, Chinwei replied to KC already, but I'll just do a quick recap. Oh wait, before I do that, I'll just do the 4-hour chart. Looking at the 4-hour, why I missed out the 4-hour chart in terms of the euro pound is because it's probably going to sit there. I wouldn't be looking to do 4-hour chart trading on the euro pound. Probably look at it on the daily because I really want that significant move, that close, that confident close above that level before I look to buy in. So don't try and do a short-term euro pound trade. It's probably going to sit there before a big jump, sit there before a big jump again. So it will be something that I'll be looking at for this, medium to longer term rather than the short to medium term kind of trades. All right. So for Casey's sake, right, we're recapping back onto the Euro US dollar. Euro US, I was looking at it, saying that it could possibly move slightly lower over the next couple of days. On Thursday, possibly it could move quite significantly lower, mainly because of what could happen in terms of news coming on Thursday. We have the German manufacturing and services PMI. We have the French manufacturing and services PMI. We also have the Eurozone manufacturing and services PMI. So because of that, those triggers, expecting slightly worse than expected news because of what's happening in the euro in terms of the virus. So we could see worse economic news coming from the Eurozone, leading to a weaker euro dollar, right? Nobody asked the question, but what if we see a better number, right? What if we see a better PMI number, or what if we see a better or as expected number and you see euro going up? My best advice is if you do see euro moving higher, I would probably stay out, right? I'll probably stay out at that point. Even if it goes up to this point, I would say that it's testing a resistance level. I would sit on my hands and stay out of that trade. I'll look at something else at this point because a lot of times traders forget that staying out is a strategy. You don't have to be banging out trades all the time. You could stay out of a trade. You could wait for a trade to develop or a position to develop before jumping in. So it's not always about getting into a trade or even getting out of a trade. It could even be staying out of a trade. Make sense so far? Give me a nod if it does. All right, awesome. So while we're looking at the euro and while we have looked at the euro US and the euro pound, I also want to show you a bit more about, let me just move this away. How do I do this? All right. Let me just switch over to this part here, and then I'll show you about that. So I want to talk to you a little bit more about the crude oil, what happened. I started off saying that this is a massive historic day. So happy to be sharing this historic day with all of you. What happened was the crude oil, as the headline there says, US crude oil futures below $0. It's the first time in history. Actually, the funny thing was I can't see Jonathan now, but I was just talking to Jonathan last night as it was dropping, and we were just thinking, is this going to go to below zero? And how interesting would it be if it goes below zero? So what it means is, at this point, they are almost paying you to buy a crude oil future, right? How does this work, right? Basically is what happens is today, Tuesday, there is a futures expiry happening, a futures contract expiry happening. So all those people who have been trading crude oil, right? They've been buying futures contracts, thinking that it's going to bounce. If they don't sell off their futures contracts today, they're going to have to take delivery of crude oil. So all the traders in Wall Street, all the traders in any financial institution that they've been buying crude oil futures, if they don't sell off their contracts, they're going to have to be taking physical delivery of the crude oil. And for a trader, that's the worst thing you want to do, because while you take a physical delivery of the crude oil, you need to know where to store it, right? You need to know where to store it. So that means that they're going to be quite happy to say, hey, if storing crude oil is going to cost me money, I'd rather pay people to take on this future contract, right? That's why prices for oil futures drop below zero. That's why it's actually gone negative, as in people are paying you to take on that futures contract. What this does not mean is that you can go to the petrol station and expect them to pay you money to pump petrol. Prices of crude oil is not below zero, it's the futures contract. There has been reports coming out saying that this is likely to happen, to maintain until mid of May before a possible correction of the futures prices. So I would at this point be a little bit more careful if you're trading crude oil in spot or crude oil futures. Be a bit more careful with that. Today I will actually be looking to create something. I'm thinking of doing some extra analysis into crude oil. So if I have anything, I'll be sharing it into the Traders Club for the members of the Traders Club. My analysis of crude oil in terms of the stocks and in terms of how to trade it in the medium to longer term. Okay. I mentioned the Traders Club. What I have, Traders Club here, if you're on Facebook, a lot of you came through the Facebook Traders Club group. LTMS Traders Club is a private group on Facebook where I and our group of coaches, Daniel, Chinwei, Jonathan, Kenneth, even Kim Hong sometimes shares quite a bit in there as well. Our analysis, our experience, and also answer a lot of questions for members there. So this currency call was put up there. We have people talking about crude oil even late last night. Analysis was all there. You know, this was one of the very good articles I found this morning talking about crude oil, explaining this analysis that I just shared with you. So you can read more there as well. A lot of you have came from Telegram. A lot of you have came from our free signal channel in Telegram. What you've received is probably signals like that, where we tell you to buy, where Daniel fires out the signals telling you to buy euro, New Zealand US dollar with a stop loss price, a take profit level of 1, 2, and 3, right? But that's all you get in Telegram. In the LCMS Traders Club private group, what you also get is the analysis, right? You get the analysis behind why Daniel is signaling to buy New Zealand US dollar, or why is he signaling to get into the logic behind it, the trend, the news, the support, resistance, all the different levels. He shares his charts to tell you what he's looking at. So not only do you follow a trade in the group, you can also learn how to trade by looking at real life examples of why Daniel gets into those trades, right? So sometimes the trades work out, sometimes it doesn't. There's no 100% in trading. So, you know, when we hit stop loss, the analysis will come up telling you why we hit stop loss as well. Yesterday at our weekly live seminar with the members in the Traders Club, we talked about currency correlation. So we had this currency correlation chart done up to really help you understand what it means about currency correlation, how to trade, how to give you an idea of how to trade between different currency pairs. This does not mean that if currency pairs are indirectly correlated, you just buy one and sell the other. This is just to give you an indication of what could happen, right? So we have a lot of specific information follow-up information from our videos that we do here as well. Ivy sharing about trades that she got into, how to calculate the profit levels. Our private weekly calls are there. We've got special promotions, mostly for Traders Club members. We can also release this to other members, other viewers as well. The newest promo that we have with SamTrade FX is a 30% credit bonus. So you put in $10,000, you get $13,000 into your trading account where you can trade. All right. I like this. I actually twisted the arms to get this, is because this is going to be very beneficial in terms of the Traders Challenge, which I'll tell you more about later as well. All right. So weekly webinars are all there. You know, you might have been reading my blog analysis, daily blog analysis about or how I look at different currency pairs. This is the watch list. So not only do we tell you, you know, I give you all the free analysis on the blog, I also tell you in here, all the members, what to watch for, the watch list that you should be having. All right. So this goes on and on and on. We have all our analysis. We have people asking questions. The best way you learn is by asking questions. So if you really want to join this Traders Club, you know, go onto Facebook, look for the LCMS Traders Club, click to join, or you can actually go to lcms.com.sg/Traders Club. Go through this. I've just went through this with you, actually, all the things that you get and more from the Traders Club, or the watch list, the questions and answers, all right? The signals that you get. The Traders Club is $49 a month or $199 for a whole year. It doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't make sense. Basically, I want you to join for a whole year because that's where you really see the benefit through your continuous interaction. If you want to join for a month at $49, sure, great. But the no-brainer move is to go for $199 for a whole year. All right. So if you want to do that, click join now, and then we'll have you on board straight away for the Traders Club. All right. I mentioned about the Traders Challenge here. So Traders Challenge is a competition, a monthly competition that we run together with SamTrade FX. It's a private competition. So let me just zoom out a little bit. All right, so it's a private competition. So every month we have our clients, our traders, our trading community trade and compete against each other. All right, it's a live trading competition, so you need a live trading account. You make your profits, you keep your profits. The number one rank, the person who comes in top, also receives $2,000 cash prize, 2,000 US cash prize, withdrawable, right? So it's not a credit, it's a withdrawable cash prize, and a whole lot of other benefits, coins, and The details will be in the chat as well. So, you know, this is a very beneficial thing because, you know, you join the competition, you make money in your trading, you make money from your competition as well. How I advise you to do this is trade, use the signals, copy the signals, because that could help you make some money as well. Reach out to the coaches for help in terms of your trading style, strategies, and mentality, because that could benefit you in terms of your trading. And also use the Traders Club to ask questions, right? A lot of times when you're sitting at home and you're trading, especially if you're trading in this competition, you're going, oh, should I buy or should I sell? Which currency pair should I look at? You know, you can use the Traders Club, start firing out questions, put up charts. Let me just find you a chart that somebody put up. You know, Robbie's a very frequent viewer of this video, and he's a good contributing member to this club as well. You know, he puts up charts looking at, hey, pound US dollar H4, should I be looking to sell? His analysis. So use this group as a sounding board to help you with your trading as well. Okay, so I've rambled on for a very long time. Let me just look at the chat. Do you have any questions coming in? I see some people joining at the last moment. Okay, so everyone's been quite quiet, quite happy. Any other questions? Tomorrow we'll be talking about the pound US dollar. We'll be talking about pound US dollar, and if there's any further developments in oil prices and in oil futures, I will also be touching on that. Jimmy will tell me something to do later. Okay, Ivy shared her demo account made $4,000, well, almost $5,000 in 2 hours. Fantastic, Ivy. I'll give you a virtual high five. I hope you smack your screen hard enough for that virtual high five. Tommy asked about Euro Yen. Tommy, you ask that every week, right? Tommy, Euro Yen, we'll talk about it when we talk about Yen. So on Thursday, when I talk about Yen, I'll be talking about the US Yen, the Pound Yen, the Euro Yen, and also gold. So that's on Thursday. WTI USD, we trade a spot, right? If you're trading, you need to check. Sometimes we are trading on spot. Sometimes we could be trading on the future prices as well. So double check on that. Put it in the LCMS Traders Club and we'll answer that. Okay, Malik, I've been following your trade signals since last week on Telegram. I see almost trades a huge stop loss. Is that normal? Was this period going on like in this? Malik, yeah, it's been quite a difficult time, right? I should actually put Daniel on, but I'll answer this for him. It's been quite a difficult time, high volatility in the market. We have been about, Daniel, how many percent are we at right now in terms of the overall?
This usually I'm about 70 to 80%. Overall is about 70%.
So at about a 70 to 80% accuracy in terms of the signals. Right now, Daniel is going through a little bit of a rough patch, mainly because the market has been super volatile. We actually need to be a bit more careful. What actually happens in the Traders Club is we actually sometimes will indicate to traders, to members that, hey, it's not even hit TP1, but it's possibly a good time to get out, right? So sometimes we will say 17 pips, not TP1, but get out. So those are one of the things that we share in that Traders Club as well, really to, in addition to what you get in the Telegram group. So I do believe that the signals will improve in terms of the profitability, the accuracy, the volume as well. I've been pushing Daniel to push out more trade signals because while we look at the volatility, it could be a bit negative, as in it could be disadvantageous, but it also could mean that we could see more trading opportunities. So we will keep firing out trade signals. We will see trades results get better as well. All right, Ivy, I did not say that I didn't know why it moved so fast and got a shock. Hey, Ivy, now you know, right? So now you know, and that's one of the fantastic reasons about joining this call as well. All right. So any other questions? This has been, I find that the Euro session, when I start talking about Euro, it's always been quite quick and sharp. Casey, yesterday you mentioned today 1 p.m. announcement, expect 170 drops to valid. All right, Casey, I didn't really say expect 170 pip drop. I said that the news today could move the Aussie lower. It is still valid. Okay. Let me just bring up this again. All right. Okay. So as I wanted to show you this. This was something interesting that I noted as well. So Casey asked quite a good question. You know, is it still valid? Are we still looking to that Aussie could come lower? Wow, Trump suspend U.S. immigration. Okay. One thing that I actually like was that at 9:30 there was a policy meeting minutes, but then the New Zealand actually came out and said that it does not rule out negative rates. So while we see that the policy meeting minutes has not really done that much to the Aussie, we could see still more news coming out at 1 p.m. We also see New Zealand not ruling out negative rates. So if we see a possible downward move in New Zealand dollar, a weakening of the New Zealand dollar because of possible negative rates, we could also see in turn the Aussie dollar coming lower, right? I don't know if the Aussie will get to negative rates, but we could see the Aussie dollar coming lower in that sense as well. So that move could be still valid, but I don't know if it will jump from where it is now to 170 pips downwards straight away. All right. Any other questions? You're most welcome. Don't call me Sifu. Sifu sounds like I need a beard, a white beard I need to be stroking all the time. All right. So if there's no other questions, I'll take an end to this. Let me just run a quick poll. What did you think about this session? Right. Okay. So, yep. So I just launched a poll. Let me know what you think, and then tomorrow at 11 o'clock again, we'll be talking about the pound. We'll be talking about a pound currency pair, and then any other. I'll probably do a bit of a review in terms of what we've been talking about as well. Okay. So I always have a few people asking me where they could be a bit more longer, a bit more analysis, a bit more coaching. We do a lot more analysis, a lot more coaching in the weekly webinar on Mondays. So a lot of the club members have questions that we gather and we answer from there. So the club members get a lot more coaching in that private webinar session as well. All right. So great. I'll catch you all again tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Thank you all for joining this session. In the meantime, trade well, trade safe. Don't get too tempted by the movement of oil, because as it drops to such a low point, there could be a very big spike up before you catch everyone by surprise. So be careful of that. And then especially after today, right? So we'll catch up again tomorrow. Thank you all so much.